Alright, making this video pretty quickly because I'm going to go to bed soon. It's about 3 AM, but I'm just going to try and explain how I do some aerial transfers and sort of the different ways that you can achieve that. A lot of people have asked me recently, and thought rather than answering everybody once, I just record a video. Much more simple, and I'm lazy. Well, basic aerials that you want to be doing transitions for are basically like the tables, plain aerials, behind the backs, anything like that. Spins in whichever way you want. Most of the time, these aerials will follow a general rule that the next aerial or the next move will have to follow in the direct order of momentum that the previous move has caused. Which, for example, if you do that aerial, it most naturally leads to that one. Or you'll be able to do the same one over and over again, which is the same with the other hand. And it's a basic sort of fundamental of freestyle entropy, but that is all it is. It is a basic understanding of it. There's many more ways that you can actually manipulate this to your own benefit, which aren't as simple as you might think. First of all, a good example of that is how you can define this whole idea of having aerials that flow together, or flow, because I don't really like using the word anymore, but things like partial reverse rebounds, anything like that, or aerial catches that you're catching these wrist spins, things like that. Those are not flowing naturally. There's interference in between those. You're not allowing the aerial to complete its natural movement. And by that fact, most people defunct those moves and don't think that they're of any use to them. But there are many applications to this. First of all, it is possible to change that aerial into that aerial without stopping or breaking flow or anything like that. Any stalls, no bounces or anything like that. You don't have to give it all that. You don't have to break the flow whatsoever. And by doing this, it's by ripping it out of its original loop. I mean, you'll be stuck in that loop forever, yeah? And the way most people see out of that is to do a bounce and to bring it that way, which will change that to that. But you're still doing a bounce, a spin, and another aerial in between that. This way, I figured out that you can actually continue both those aerials into each other with no more than one swing, which does sound a bit mental, but I'll try and show you right now. If you aerial first, swing round, you can switch from left to right without breaking flow, without doing any bounces, nothing like that. So flow, the whole idea of flow, pointless, give it up. It's a load of bullshit. Everybody's got their different ideas of what flow is and how it should be defined and what people think is the ideal version of flow. If you want ideal flow, just do a spin for the rest of your life, because that's not how it works. If we wanted flow, we wouldn't do bounces, we wouldn't do hard aerials, we wouldn't do passes, we wouldn't do anything, because they don't flow as well as original spins, and you've got to make that sacrifice. If you want to advance in freestyle nunchaku, you don't want to have to stick by traditionalist standards. I mean, I know it's not traditionalist yet, but it will become the dogma of freestyle nunchaku that it's supposed to flow, it's supposed to be fast, it's supposed to be smooth, all that sort of stuff. I just don't agree with it. There's many more ways you can do this. Another one of the moves I've come up with involving that idea, which is basically, well, this isn't it. This is the inverted behind the back throw, which is basically one of my favourite moves at the moment. It's very difficult, fair enough, but figured out a way you don't need to naturally do that. I mean, that is the natural path, as I said before. It just feels instinctively natural to catch it back in that hand again, but that is sort of a limitation. That means I have to do that every time I've done that trick, because it doesn't appear any other way out of it other than hand passes and stuff like that. But by using that method that I showed you before, doing that, you can change that. trying it now. This is still an experimental move, so if I fuck it up, don't hold it against me. But things like that. I know that doesn't quite look normal. It doesn't look like a normal move. I'll try and do it again. But all of that defies everything about flow. It has corners for a start. It doesn't flow smoothly. It doesn't maintain a constant speed. It doesn't follow the planes. But yeah, it's still a fully functioning move that works really, really well. So I'm just trying to put this across that you don't need to focus too much on the standard. Start playing with it. You don't have to do all these things. It's like the flows. They don't follow any of the preset ideas of nunchaku, but they still work, which is my point. Therefore, we shouldn't stick by these principles anymore, because they're in fact holding us back more than we think they're helping us. So, I don't know, well, I know this is sort of in the early stages at the moment, but give it a try and see what you think, because I promise you that this is another step forward into creating a unified ideology of nunchaku. I know people's ideologies are different, which is fair enough, but I'm viewing this as a whole as what everyone would agree on. If you don't agree on it, then fair enough, but this is what I've come to the conclusion of. It defies normal laws of what is supposed to be done by nunchaku. I'm sure I've figured all this out. It might seem stupid, but just watch the tip of the chucks. That bit. When I'm doing the swing, yeah, it's not a normal spin. The center is rotating around the mass of this part of the nunchaku. With heavier chucks, this will be even greater. With light chucks, it will be less. Shorter chords, less. Longer chords, more. It's by simply learning where this little bob, this little bounce of rotation happens that you can actually predict all of these things. As soon as you can manipulate that, you can actually improve your freestyle by a lot. So it takes a lot of the guesswork out of it, because then you can actively predict any movement you want just by knowing how to do the bounces, how to wobble your chucks. Basic theory. I'm sure you all knew that the nunchucks do that already, but there you go. Anyway, that's it from me. Sorry about dropping the nunchucks. I don't know if I've destroyed my illusion, but there you go.